I watched Hillary last night with we're going to give this, we're going to give that, we're going to give that. The poor woman, she's got to give everything away because this maniac that was standing on her right is giving everything away, so she's following. That's what's happening. This socialist slash communist, okay, nobody wants to say it. He's going to tax you people at 90%. He's going to take everything.
Well, that, of course, was Donald Trump referring to Bernie Sanders as a maniac, as a socialist slash communist in front of another huge crowd, 5,000 people. And today, Donald Trump also threatened to pull out of the next GOP debate. Also, Jeb Bush, he's come out with his numbers, the first Republican presidential candidate, also to release the names of his major bundlers. By the way, his campaign raised $13.3 million in the third quarter. Joining me now, Rob Taub, a political analyst, and Kirsten Haglund, Miss America 2008. Rob,
yes, sir.
I don't know that was news necessarily that Sanders is a socialist slash communist, but it really made the rounds today. It's just something that just people probably need to understand, that you are lurching towards someone who wants to do something to this country that will destroy it.
Well, first of all, Trump called him a maniac, which means extreme symptoms of wild behavior. He's, especially when violent or dangerous, that's according to Wikipedia and Webster's. I call Sanders more of a kook, and I'm a Democrat. He wants to do things that I don't think are economically feasible, like spending $18 trillion on free education. But Trump is going after him because he's the weakest link, because if he went after Hillary, she would take him apart like a Lego set.
Well, hold on one second. And here's the irony. I think the part of that sound on tape we just played that was probably more interesting than the maniac part was when Donald Trump referred to Hillary as a poor woman who has to give away everything. He actually seems like he has some sympathy for her, and that maybe she would be more of a centrist candidate if the party wasn't pulling her left.
Well, that is the big surprise of the Democratic nomination so far, is that he has swung so far to the left. He is. And he's taken all these people with him, Bernie Sanders. Yeah. And there's all this enthusiasm around him, especially among young people. So Hillary was like, oh, having to play catch up. And so as we see that in play, it's like, who can compete to give away the most free stuff? You know, where is the money going to come from to pay for that stuff, Charles? Where's it going to come from?
Well,
you know, and that's the question.
Yeah, I listen, I don't disagree with you, but I think it's all about win first and you know, forget about paying for it later, Rob.
I don't think Hillary is jumping on the Sanders bandwagon. She disagreed with him about foreign policy. She also disagreed with him about paying for schools. And yes, there is going to be some.
What do you mean she disagreed with him? She sounded like she was ready to pay for college for illegal immigrants. I mean, where did she disagree?
He's going to pay for college for everybody. Hillary is a centrist. Her husband was a centrist. She has
been pulled a little bit to the left. Between Elizabeth Warren, who is now the key power broker in that party, and with the polls and the enthusiasm, I think she has no choice. But I want to ask you guys about this thing with Jeb Bush. He raised $13 million, which is a fairly good number, but he released the bundlers. I mean, I've got the names here. Is that a smart political strategy to release the names? Because Donald Trump has made a fantastic point of these politicians being in the pocket of wealthy people. Now, everyone's going to look at these names and see what they want as a special interest group.
Right. And that's one thing that he's trying to do to compete against Donald Trump. And let's face it, he's really got to think of something because he is fading fast. But in this respect, it seems like a nice, transparent move. But then you see that the threshold of donations that he's revealing, it's $17,600, which every other candidate's way up in $100,000, $200,000. So basically, your biggest bundlers are getting lost in all of those names. So it's a move toward what looks like transparency, but it's really not.
All right, guys, let's leave it there.